So when it comes to cell phone use, Americans are spending more time on their devices. That's probably not a shocker, but the number might surprise you. A survey by Reviews.org found Americans check their phones 205 times per day in 24. That's up from the year before.
And it means we are on our phones at least once every 5 minutes while we're awake. So now that the new year is here, it is time to consider creating some healthier phone habits. And with us to help do that, Dr. Aditi Nerurkar. She is an internal medicine physician. Dr. Nerurkar, thank you so much for coming to Daily. So first, let's talk about why we are so prone. What is behind this urge to constantly pick up and check our phones?
First of all, it's so great to be with you both. Stress is really the main driver. What happens is when you are feeling a sense of stress, you are scrolling, you are hypervigilant. And when you are feeling that sense of stress, it is so easy to overuse your devices. That is why digital boundaries are so important for your mental health now more than ever.
It's interesting because it's such a vicious cycle. What then happens when you are using your phone? Like, what are the mental health risks that essentially happen to you or that can befall you?
When you overuse your devices, you can experience insomnia, anxiety, irritability, hypervigilance. I'm sure we've all experienced this. In addition, popcorn brain, which is the sensation of your brain popping from spending too much time online. And the antidote is digital boundaries.
I love this. So we're going to talk about how to create those digital boundaries, but take a look at this number here. More than 43% of the people who were surveyed consider themselves addicted. I mean, self-admitting, right? Walk us through the signs that you might be addicted to your phone and why it's important to create those digital boundaries. How do we do it?
So there's a difference between popcorn brain and internet addiction. Internet addiction is when your use of your phone gets in the way of your everyday life, your functioning, your work, your relationships. Popcorn brain, on the other hand, is something that we all experience, that sense of overstimulation. And you can see if you have that reliance on your devices by a simple trick. Just every time you feel the urge to check, keep your phone far from you, out of arm's reach, and then put a tally mark. And you will be shocked, Vicky, at how many times you are checking your phone. And you might say, I don't have a reliance to your devices. I would beg to differ. Even me, knowing all of the science, I still struggle with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's interesting. I'm like not that into my phone. I actually, when I go home, like I don't even know where it is generally. And not because I'm worried about me, I'm worried about people around me. I want to make sure that people around me know that they're valued, that they have my attention in real time. But I obviously work in a job that requires that I am connected at some point to some degree. So how do we maintain those boundaries, but still maintain a necessary connection to the world around us?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think about this all the time. You know, we are often hyper-connected to our devices and yet disconnected from each other. So when you are looking down and scrolling, instead look up. Even simple, quick engagement. So saying good morning to your barista, saying hello to your grocery clerk. These things actually make a difference scientifically to decrease loneliness. This is not about introvert or extrovert. This is about building community.
About building community, using social skills. I was at the train station the other day in the morning and I just decided I'm not going to check the headlines just yet. I'm going to watch the sun kind of come up and enjoy this. And everyone around me had their, heads buried in their phones. So I think you're right, taking a moment to try to dephonify your life. What are some, like playing a record instead of doing the music digitally, right? What are some practical techniques for making the phone less important to us in our lives?
Oh, there are so many, but two key ones. First, grayscale your phone, especially at night.
What about this?
Tell people what that is.
That basically means that you take your phone, the display, move it off of color mode into black and white mode.
That really works?
Yes, studies show that it decreases your reliance and makes scrolling less addictive and less enticing. And the second strategy that you can use today, this morning, is to start, it's called Stop, Breathe, Be. It's a 3-second brain reset, and it helps you become more intentional with your media consumption rather than mindless scrolling, which, by the way, is a myth. There's nothing mindless or passive about scrolling. It has an active effect on your brain to increase your stress.
Dr. Aditi Nerurkar, you are so smart, but you're also so kind and warm. Thank you for joining us and for all these tips that I'm about to go grayscale my phone on our commercial break.
An important topic couldn't come at a better time. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure.